Hey, it's me, ATA, and this is the Q&A portion of my More Acceptance, Less Resistance video. So first, the concept. MALR is really just a motto, a mantra that I came up with to get through this quarantine, lockdown, pandemic time. And I feel like I'm very resistant to change. And that's something I've been trying to work on, that I want to work on. So more acceptance, less resistance is just my way of reminding myself to be less resistant, be more open, accept the situation, and hope for a better outcome, really. My initial prediction on what would be the favorite song, I thought Race would be the most popular because that's the sound that I think people know me by or like associate me with. But it turns out that Creep is the most popular, I'm thinking, which is interesting to me. My top three songs: number one, How You Like Me Now; two, Race with Tracy Vision; and three, Wasting No Time with Boy Mystery. My favorite song is How You Like Me Now. I like how dark, sad, and angry it feels. It is. And I love the monster voice. I love both of the rap verses. I feel like that's some of my best writing right there. And I like how it's this big reflection on a time in my life. And it feels so honest, and I love that about the track. My least favorite song on the album is Paradise because I went through a lot with that song, and ultimately I prefer the version of it that didn't make the album. But the current one that is on the album does fit better within the atmosphere of the album, so that's good. Most fun song to perform off the album, I feel like any song that has like a feature on it, I think is fun. So Zones would be really fun. Race would be really fun. But solo wise, I would say Blame and One and Only, because I feel like the production is so energetic and fun. Hardest song to record. Okay, I have three for that. The hardest songs to record were Paradise, One and Only, and Tenfold. Those three were the last songs to be finished for the album. And they just, I don't know why, it was like a big struggle with those three songs. I did a lot of rewriting and then re-recording those new verses that I wrote. And then of course Paradise had the two separate beats, so that was a lot. Easiest song to record, I would say Wasting No Time. Probably because all I had to do was like write my little verse part for it, because Mystery did a majority of the song. Other than that, I would say Creep was really easy. The whole process of making Creep was really easy, because it just has that one simple verse, and once I heard the beat, it all sort of came together. So my favorite instrumental is Wasting No Time because it's drum and bass, and that's like my favorite genre. And I remember when I made that beat, I would just lay down in my bed at like night and just like blast that in my earbuds. It was like my favorite thing ever when I first made it. It's like so catchy. And then the actual song with Mystery on it, it became even catchier. My favorite lyrics, I know that's hard because I love all the writing on this album. My favorite lyrics probably come from, I'm gonna say Race. I love those lyrics. And then my favorite message would have to be Blame. Just saying that this is what I want to do, I'll take the blame. Being unapologetic with whatever I want to pursue. That's my favorite message. Okay, so on Instagram, I did ask if anyone wanted to submit some questions for this video. And Chris said, what's your favorite song that you've done? And my favorite song that I've ever done is called Reap and Sow, because it's a drum and bass track, And it's a song from a duo that I'm a part of, and I love making music with other people. It's drum and bass, my favorite type of music, and that song, I found a good balance of rapping and singing, so I love it. It has a switch up in it. It's really dark, sad, like a love song, so I love all of that. So yeah, Reap and Sow is my favorite song I've ever done. And then Kaneda says, what or who inspires your sound? And then he says, my sound is very smooth but raw. Thank you. I've never had anyone describe my music like that. So, what or who inspires me? So, I mean, what I would say, electronic music. I had a Skrillex like dubstep phase, and then I love drum and bass. I get that from my dad. And then as far as people, I would say drum and bass people like High Contrast, but also rappers like Iggy Azalea, Azalea Banks. I love LaRue, which is right here. Oh, there's Iggy Azalea, Azalea Banks. MIA. I love MIA. Yeah, so a bunch of rappers like Logic, Denzel, Iggy, but also stuff like LaRue. Yeah, a lot of my inspirations are right here. Melanie Martinez right there with Cry Baby. But yeah, my biggest influence, my favorite artist of all time is Iggy Azalea, and then mixing that with electronic music, basically. Drum and bass specifically is what I want to do. And then Lynx Kane said, were there any songs that were left out of the album? And yes, this is the first album where I had to scrap songs or reject songs, which is crazy because I've never had to do that before. So there were 3 songs that were left out of the album. 2 of them, one's called Switching and Changing, and the other one is called Borrowed Time. Those 2 were drum and bass, and I took those out because it just didn't fit within the whole atmosphere of the project, but I love drum and bass stuff, so I hope to use those, or I hope to at least just put out the instrumentals somewhere. And then the 3rd one is called Begin, and it was boom bap sound, and I had an idea for a feature on it, but the feature, like the guy I asked wasn't into it really, so then I just like scrapped it, and I didn't really want to just make it a solo track, so it was cut for that reason. But yeah, 2 songs were drum and bass, but they didn't necessarily fit into MALR, so I scrapped them. So my last thing is what I'm currently working on. I'm working on my album. It's called Rogue, and it's produced, like executive produced, by my friend Ami Mations, and I'm really excited for Rogue. It's a sound that I've never really had. I've never had someone else do my album, like produce everything on it, because I'm a control freak, and you know. But I'm really excited for Rogue, and I'm just excited, like honored to be collaborating with Ami, and I think he's such a great producer, godly producer, and like artist, person in general. So yeah. Okay, so now it's time for the track list breakdown. So I'll go through all the tracks, and this time even more tracks because there's 2 remixes, which is so exciting. So first song in the album is Creep, and Creep ended up being the most loved song on the album, which is crazy to me because it's not the track I thought would be. And Creep really was just serving as the intro. So I put Creep first because it's the most rap sounding, just like how I put You Hear Me first on Love Capital. So I was doing the same thing here. But as I said, Creep was just the intro, so it only has one verse. And then it has the um, catchy hook that I love. A lot of people loved it. But as I said, it's the intro, and at the end of the song, I have the monster voice on, and I'm saying, "Go creep around, gotta see what is new in town. Go creep around, got an ear right to the ground." So I'm saying, hey, keep listening, creep around this town, this more acceptance, less resistance town, and just check out what I have in store for you. And then Creep, I made a music video for it, and I wanted it to be creepy, but I'm not sure that it had that effect. But I love the visual, and I did it all by myself, and I've never made a visual like by myself before, because my music videos have either been in conjunction with Groovy G or Groovy has shot them. So it was an experience for me because I just made the Creep video in my room. But then Creep also got a remix, which is crazy to me. Making music, I never thought that I would have a community or so many collaborators. So on the Creep remix, there's Spaz Kid, Lynx Kane, and Justin's League of America, JLA. And I love all of their verses. I love how everyone's verse is so different. And I love the switch ups with everyone's verse, the beat switch ups. And as I said, I've never had multiple people on a song before. I've never done really like a remix before. So this was new, and it was a great experience. It pushed me to write a second verse on a really short song. So I think it went well, and I'm so happy that those guys hopped on Creep, and I'm so glad that they loved the track enough to want to join, you know. Second track is How You Like Me Now. It's my favorite track on the album. I love how dark, sad it sounds, and it reminds me a lot of Let You Go off Love Capital, but it's like if Let You Go had taken a angry turn, like a dark turn. And it has some of my favorite verses. Those two verses, I feel like they're so honest, so real, and it's some of my best writing, I think. And as I said, I love how it's just this big reflection. I love the chorus. I think that's a new sound for me, you know, so I love it for that reason. But it's reflecting on a time with someone in my life and them leaving and coming back, and basically each time they leave and come back, I'm like, oh, how do you like me now? Like, you're back again. Like, okay, how do you like me this time? So third track is Self-Critical, and it features my friend Ami Mations, and he's on this album twice, which is crazy. But Self-Critical is just that. It's a song about how self-critical I am. For the longest time, I thought that it took, to make great art, to make great music, you had to be highly self-critical, or you had to suffer a bunch, you know, pain. And I just thought that's what made my music what it is, because how much suffering or how self-critical I am. Without those characteristics, like those traits, my music wouldn't be what it is. So I wrote a song about that, and then Ami hopped on it. And Self-Critical was a really sad song, obviously. But once I heard Ami's verse, which is, I mean, it's insane, I did a major rewrite because I felt like our verses weren't jiving like well. So the first verse is all I kept. Anything past that, a major rewrite. And he tried to tell me that I didn't need to rewrite it, but it just felt wrong. And he was like, well, the whole point of featuring someone is just to introduce the audience to their sound or whatever. And I was like, I know, but I really want things to mesh well. So I did a rewrite. And I don't know if Ami knows this, but I start off my second verse by saying, in rap mode, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. I know they all love it because they're trying to copy me, won't compare or compete. But the in rap mode is like a little Easter egg for him, but I don't know if he noticed it. But on Ami's album Pastel River, there's a track called Rap Mode, so that's why I say that. And, you know, it's like a nod to him being on the track with me, which is great. But yeah, track 4 is called Tenfold. And I'm talking about people not taking me serious. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. I say, they never take me serious, forever think that I'm playing. My life is not a game show. Need money, prizes tenfold. And as I said, it's something about pursuing art or just doing anything off the beaten path. People don't want to take you serious, or they just don't have a lot of respect for what you're doing, your craft, and it's really frustrating to me. So that's what I'm talking about on the track, and I love this beat. I mean, it's up there in my favorite instrumentals after Wasting No Time. And it's also one of those tracks that was like really sad, you know, like it starts off really sad, obviously, with the first verse, but after that I just switched it up because then like the bass kicked in and it had this whole trap feel, like trap banger feel. So then I like rewrote everything after that, so the switch up, so it goes from like all this sad to like this chill trap vibe. And then what I wanted to say is Tenfold got a remix, which is crazy because, as I said, I never thought I would have any remixes during my time making music. So yeah, I remember when I first got the Tenfold remix and it was midnight and I was just sitting on my bed and I got this email from Aceza, and I was just so, when I first heard it, it's like so different from what I made, but honestly I prefer the remix, honestly. Like, I love it so much, and it's like intergalactic and I don't know, it just puts me in such a good mood, and I was so excited when he asked to remix anything off the album, and I love the song, so thank you for remixing that. So next, the 5th track on my album is Race, and it features Tracy Vision, who is someone I know through Animations, which is like everybody. I find everybody through him. But yeah, the beat for Race, it's called Cyclical Nature, and it's something that I've had for a long time. And I was just going to keep it as an instrumental and just put it somewhere. And Tracy found it because I had made a reel on Instagram. I was just fooling around with that new feature. And he saw and he was like, oh, did you make this? Whatever. I was like, yeah, do you want to do something on it? And he did. So I was like, okay, I just sent him the beat because I wasn't planning on using it. I was just going to leave it as an instrumental because it just seemed hard to rap on. Like, I was scared to really try anything with it. It just, the beat is, there's like a lot going on in the beat. So I just said, yeah, do whatever you want. I had no idea what I was going to get back. But once I heard his demo, like, I loved that, and how his vocals like pan between the ears. It was like amazing. So once I heard that, it like got me so hyped, and I was like, yeah, I gotta like kill this. I gotta do something on it now. Like, I don't have a choice. And I love those 2 verses. Race, to me, is just about hitting the road, like leaving everything behind, you know, like, let's race, let's just go. Fleeing, just driving on the highway, I say, let's race. No regrets, we all make mistakes, cruise along the highway. It's that feel-good, energetic song, and I can't describe how it makes me feel. Someone told me that they would play it before they started working as a way to get motivated, so it's living up to its purpose, so that makes me really happy. So Tracy, thank you. I hope to collaborate with you on something else. You killed that. I love the atmosphere you created with it. I love the track, so thank you. So track 6 on the album is One and Only, and it is a song about wanting to be somebody's one and only, because I love doing the love song. I gotta have some type of love song on any album of mine, but something I love to do is talk about being out on the dance floor and like dancing, having a good time. So that's what this track is. Also, disclaimer is about being out on the floor, like beat dropped, it's too hot on the floor. Light and Free is about being out on the floor and like seeing someone across the room and like romance and all that. So I love that. And I love the production on One and Only. I think it's so fun. But as I said, One and Only was one of the last three songs to be finished for this album. And I think it was just hard for me because when I hear One and Only, I just wanted to sing on it. And this album was supposed to be no singing, so that made the song a struggle. But I think it's so catchy. It's like probably the most catchiest song on the album. I say, I'm that girl, but I want to be yours. Spent time alone, gotta ring your phone. Want to be your one and only. Don't talk, come show me. I'm that girl, but I want to be yours. We can live it up, no empty cups. You can be my one and only. In a trance, you control me. So this person's like so captivating, and I see them and I want them. So they got me like in a trance, but also In a Trance is the name of my instrumental album that I want to release this year. But yeah, I love that little chorus. Like it's so catchy to me, and I love my favorite line would have to be no empty cups, the no empty cups line. We can live it up, no empty cups. Because it's like, oh yeah, partying and like no empty cups, like drinking. But also I always see the post on like Twitter, Instagram about like filling your significant other's cup. I don't know, like that just always sticks in my head. I don't know why. But yeah, so it's like a party song, romance song, being on the dance floor. I love that. Good vibes. I love all that. And yeah, so track 7 is Zoned, and it features Ami Mations, his second time on the album. And Zoned is a track that I've had for a long time. It was originally supposed to be on my collab album with Ami, but that album got stalled and we had different ideas, went separate ways for a bit. And so I thought, okay, I would just throw that on More Acceptance, Less Resistance. And it's like the first verse is like some of my, like one of my best verses, I think. And I don't know why, but I was in the zone when I wrote it. It feels like I was just so hype and I was trying to lead up to his verse. I feel like when I collaborate with him, he really pushes me writing wise. I mean, in all senses, I feel like I just want to do the best I can when I'm on a track with him because he always brings it with his features and he's so talented, so it motivates me. But yeah, that first verse, I love it so much. What can you do for me? Go on and pay respects. You could have got up, but I know you slept. Not worth my time. I'm not going to wake you up. Got Ami with me, and we about to shake it up. Chemistry, passion, you can make it up. Paint with the brush, not talking makeup. Not really talking at all, because I don't say much. I don't speak enough. I chill alone with material stuff. Like, I don't know. I think maybe it's just the flow of it, but I was in the zone with that one, and I love what he did. His verse, he does half singing, half rapping, so I love that switch up. And the main thing about Zoned is it sounded like the chorus sounded horrible. It says, I'm in the zone, yeah. See you later, I'm gone. Can't control my phone. Call now, they want to get a hold. They can't function without you, that's how you know. So I'm saying, oh, when you aren't around, things fall apart, like people need you. They can't function without you. So you're like an essential piece in the puzzle. But the thing is, his ad-libs in singing took it to a whole nother level because it was so awkward and flat and dry without those ad-libs. And I was like, this is sounding so bad. And I feel like the beat is so fun and groovy but on top of it, my vocals were so boring, and his ad libs took it to a whole nother level. So it's crazy. And I love collaborating with him, so I'm glad we have that track about just being in the zone, getting work done. That's how you know. That's how you know. And it's really catchy, and I don't know, I love the track. So, track 8 is Paradise, and Paradise went through a huge, like, reconstruction. And originally it was on this dancey beat, really fun beat, and I scrapped that beat because it kind of was too similar to One and Only. Like, I already had One and Only, so I didn't need another track that sounded that way. I didn't want to be too redundant. So I switched beats, and the thing I like about the beat that made it to the album is it actually sounds so tropical to me. Tropical, it sounds like a paradise. So my favorite thing about Paradise is that it has 3 verses, which is something that I rarely do. Usually just have one good verse and then someone will feature on it, or I get 2. But I think just on this album, I was so motivated and I was just like working so hard, push myself, and Paradise ended up getting 3 good verses, and the 3rd verse on Paradise is my favorite. But I just wanted to have a track on there that sort of vibey and just saying like, hey, welcome to my world, welcome to my paradise, doing what I want, doing what I love, just creating. And I wanted something that had that wholesome mood, that wholesome tone to it. So I love it for that reason. Track 8. Track 9 is Wasting No Time. Track 8 is Paradise. So, Wasting No Time, it features Boy Mystery, and I love the track. I remember when Mystery and I were working on it together, and he's like, hurry up and put your verse on it because I just want to listen to the demo. I want to listen to it in the car, bump it in the whip. And I used to replay the demo over and over, just like I would replay the instrumental, because it's just so smooth to me, and I can feel the song. But I am a control freak when it comes to like my art, and I always want to produce everything, or I want to mix everything, etc., etc. But I really had hit a wall when it came to this track, and I had some ideas for it and a lot of demos for it, but it was a very sad song. What I had came up with was very sad, and I just didn't want the album to go in that direction. So I found myself at square one, and I was like, who do I know that could really help out, that could really kill this? And I just thought of Mystery, and I know he likes to do sometimes melodic stuff. So I sent him to that. I was like, oh, what do you think? And he loved it, and it was basically like in his hands, which is crazy because, as I said, I love to control everything. So here I am just sending a beat to someone, and I'm just like, okay, do whatever you want. And in my mind, I was like, oh my gosh, I need him to do a chorus on this because I just knew he could do it. But yeah, he sent me this chorus and this verse, and I loved it. I tried something new and with the structure of the song, and I think it turned out great. It turned out well. So yeah, when I heard back like what he had sent, it was like, I don't know, it was so great. And I wrote my verse so fast after hearing what he had done. It was just so easy to go off of, and in my mind it's like this love song, and it's about if you had like your dream person, you wouldn't want to waste any time with them. But it's also like a song of pursuing someone, because I'm saying like, oh, you've been on my mind, and I really don't want to waste any time, so I'm gonna take action to make you mine. That like unnecessarily rhymed. But yeah, so dream person, not wanting to waste any time with them, and just feeling like that person is your match, really. And I love his chorus. Like, I just knew he could do it. I knew he could kill it. And then I love his verse. The whole thing is very catchy to me, and I love how this is my second time collabing with Mystery, and our first song is just a rap track, and then I love how we have this one, which is melodic. I love how we've been able to do both. And so thank you, Mystery, for being on it. I love the track. You killed that. I'm so glad that I reached out to you, that I trusted you with it. It's great. So track 10 is Blame. And Blame, it's another song when I wrote it when I was feeling angry. Kind of like Tenfold, I don't like when people don't take what I want to do seriously. So on Blame, I say the chorus, this is what I want to do. I always take the blame. Been sitting in my room, making art, playing tunes. Leave them all so confused, can't understand what I do, can't comprehend, can't fathom that it's me and not you. So, I'm in school right now, and sometimes I will choose to, like, do some art, work on art over my schoolwork. And I remember my mom one time was like, oh, you need to only do music on the weekends. And like, of course I was like, no. So I'm saying like, oh, this is what I want to do. I'm going to take the blame. If something happened, like, oh, poor grades because I was focusing on art too much, I would take the blame. Like, I don't care because ultimately this is like the only thing that I really care about. So this is my way of making a statement saying, yeah, this is what I want to do. And I don't care, and whatever happens, I don't have any regrets, you know, because this is what I love. So yeah, and then the production of it is like, wow. Just the beat alone is insane, and it's so energetic and fun. And then I love how I'm making a huge statement on it. And I had a lot of fun rapping on it. And I love it as the final song for More Acceptance, Less Resistance. It's like I ended the album on a high note, which I can feel. I mean, it's just something I wanted to try and do, because I know with Love Capital, I ended it on Waterfall, which is like this sad love ballad. So I wanted to flip the script on More Acceptance, Less Resistance, and have this fun, hype song to just close it all out with. And I love the album. I'm just glad that I pushed myself with this one. I set out to make this rap album on my production, and I think it turned out really well. And I think, like, this is my most well-received album this far, and I've heard a lot of great things from a lot of people. So thank you to everyone that listened to it. Thank you to everyone that contributed to it. I can't believe I got 2 remixes. That was crazy to me. Surreal to me still. And all the features on it, Omnimations, Tracy, Boy Mystery, Spaz Kid, Lynx Kane, Justin's League of America. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening, supporting. It means so much to me, and I'll see you in the next video.